This tutorial, let's look at mainly at the page layout. Because page layout is after home and insert. You click on it, it will open up, and there are different groupings, just like we have seen in the other tabs, home and insert and others. There are different groupings. In this one we have themes, we have the page setup, we have the page background, paragraph, and the one we call arrange. In this we shall be looking at these groupings too, but very importantly there are some like page setup which are important. Page background, you will need to know how they are done. For example, let's begin with the page setup. Now under page setup we have margins, orientation, size, columns, have breaks, line numbers, and hyperlination. Page background, there is watermark, page color, and the page borders. Let's look at the page size, for example. This here is where we choose a page size for the current section, the section we want to write our document on. So for example, let's see, we have different types of sizes. We have a letter size, legal, A4, executive, A5, the custom, A6, depending on which one you want to write. So how do we know which one we are using? For example, right now we are in a letter. That is the default here. We are having a letter. We want to type a letter. That is the one we are going to use. How about if we want to go legal? We click on legal. It's almost the same as letter, so no big difference. Then there is the one we call A4. These papers we use for printing on. There is a change between legal and letter. I think the same thing happens if you go to executive. It becomes even smaller. Depending on which document you want to type, you can adjust this to any you want, but mostly we use letter. That is the default. If it's not letter, then it is the A4 which we normally use. That is under size. There are margins. Under margins we select the margin sizes for the entire document or the current section of the document. Okay, so you realize that under margin, for us to best explain margin, we have to look at a sentence like that one. Now under margins we know that we are in the normal. That means from the beginning part of this document up to where the word begins from. See this space here, this is the normal. So if we are to change that, for example, to narrow, you will realize that that has changed. We have moved up and to the left. The space there is smaller. Moderate will take us almost to the same size as we had in the normal. Why do we bring us this small? So depending on which one you want, you can always apply any of them that you want. Under columns we look at the number of columns we want on a page, on a page. So for example, for right now the column is just one. But how about if we wanted to? That means this space left for us is for the second column. After this column is finished, after we have written up to the end down, then instead of going to page 2, we shall come up here, and then that's where we shall continue our page 2. This one is done usually to conserve space. On the same paper you want to put there 2 columns. It can be 3. Then let's look at the page background. And the page background we have watermark, we have page color and borders. Now watermark is where we insert text behind the real content that is on a page. So for example, on this is the content, but we can put a text behind that page to show what exactly we are talking about. There are always these templates. For example, that one, the confidential. Now that the background is also white, the white here is not seen clearly, but like I said, we can always change the page background, the color, page color. Let's try that. Black. The watermark is now being visible. It's being visible. You can do not copy. It's there. That's the template. And you can write don't worry and say, won't we have this interfering with the other one which we are writing? No, it doesn't. You just write it for it appears in the background, then the ones you are writing will be up front. We can customize a watermark by including a picture on it. We can select a picture from wherever we have kept them and then apply it. But also we can use a text watermark, like this one is do not copy. I want to put my company's name, Prism Media Limited. You can decide which type of font you want on it. There we go, Prism Media Limited. It will come up like that. You can remove it if you don't want it. Click here and say remove watermark. Then we have what we call page borders. You can have a box, you can have a shadow, you can 3D. Choose which one you want and say okay. Now it is black. still most likely the other one won't be seen. Let's put it back to white, and that is our border. This one is usually used when you are dealing with certificates. Okay, thank you.
Little baby up in heaven says to God,